They're currently all-conquering, can't be beaten. Let's take a look at the lineups. First of all, for the Bombers, we know that Fletcher, McVeigh and Ryder are going to play important roles within this Bomber lineup. As we take a look at the Saints, and of course they've brought back some big guns, haven't they? And take a look at those, and we're almost at full strength if you are a St Kilda supporter. It looks very good indeed. Let's go and join all of the action. It's the Bombers and the Saints. Good crowd in, as Rowan Smith has pointed out. Up around the 45, perhaps even a few more. As we get it underway in the middle, Ryder doing the ruck work. Del Santo tackled aggressively by Ryder. And we'll have the ball up.
Interesting at the start there, BT. Joe Watson, the free Essendon man, decided to stay on when Ricky Dyson had the job on Montagna. Now coming into Montagna, but it was interesting to see whether Goddard goes to Watson or Watson, what ends up in that matchup.
Well, certainly Welsh is tracking Lenny Hayes and doing a pretty good job early, getting his hands on the footy.
He was desperate for it there, Gerard.
He was. He wasn't penalised either, which is a good thing. He didn't drag it in. He was pretty keen to get involved. He wants to get between the bounce and, of course, Lenny Hayes. You see him there trying to push him away.
Good shot of it. Ryder to Welsh in the end, who had a piece but couldn't control it. Del Santo's got some space. He can go all the way here. 45 and sends it home. Beautiful play, St Kilda. Nick Del Santo getting it done early.
And it was just a turnover through probably too sharp a hands. We hopefully will get back and have a look at this turnover. But the Saints actually have the fall. You see there Welsh, he pokes it out, and Joe Watson put the ball to the ground. And then one of the men that was rested last week, it's a pretty good start by the Saints.
Yeah, it is a good start, and as you said, a turnover. And Del Santo, look, it just shows the ability he has to finish from 50, win the ball himself, finish from 50. Terrific goal, but Essendon need to, if they're going to close down these guys, they need to work a bit harder on who is picking up who.
Beautifully fluent player, Nick Del Santo. And we've got a kick off the ball here. Looks like it may well go to St Kilda again in the goal square.
Against Nathan Lovett-Murray there, BT.
Well, we saw a little bit of a skirmish early, and the umpire's indicating forearm into the body there, off the ball. This is the interpretation we spoke about a couple of weeks ago. So it'll be 2 goals inside a minute here for the Saints. Umpire's got to wait for the lights. And it will be Fisher lining up. Unfamiliar territory for him.
Isn't it an interesting move? He's been tagged well, in fact, the last 6 to 8 weeks, much to his detriment off half-back. But today he starts up forward.
And comes in and kicks his first goal in the first minute. The Saints have 2 in a minute. And game on here for the Saints.
Interesting move, this one, Hurdy.
Yeah.
Sammy Fisher, All-Australian last week, started the year magnificently. Has just trailed off his form to some degree in this latter part of the season, because he's been focused on such an important creative player for them. And you can see here what an unusual move it is. I don't think Matthew Knights in these hours of preparation would have come up with Sam Fisher out of the goal square.
No, I don't think he would have, but what it does for St Kilda is it sets them up for the finals, gives them more options. I think what they're doing is trying to work out, right, if Kazitsky or if Rewalk goes down, or if Fisher's not playing well and get tagged off half-back, what can we do come the final? So a smart move from Ross Lyon and his coaching group, coming into a big 4 or 5 weeks for them.
So BT, he's now got 2 other players up there, because Brendan Goddard kicked 4 goals in a quarter as a tall forward as well.
Yep, experimenting and giving themselves plenty of options, as you rightly point out. Here's Monfries. The tackler and Rafal Clark. Montagna stepped in some traffic. There's McVeigh. Hayes. Rafal Clark. Graham couldn't control the ball. That was out, but the boundary umpire was unsighted. And now Monfries almost a free kick. Players and umpires letting them go here. Surely Welsh got one in the back. Good umpiring.
And the other move I like is Luke Ball, who's playing as a small forward. Milne further up the ground. There is a free kick. We'll come back to that.
Well, Luke Ball looks to be going with Courtney Dempsey and making sure that keeping Dempsey honest across the half-back line for Essendon.
Dyson wanted to get back on the left. It wasn't 15. What a great tackle. There's an example of how Steve Milne's improved his game. And there's an example of what he used to do. 2 in 1 there. The old and the new.
You probably don't play him with 3 blokes around you, do you?
Stevie Milne, that's the sort of player he is. He's a sneaky little man.
Well, there was an option there to Luke Ball, but it was only a half an option.
Monfries, a high ball. St Kilda, strong mark overhead. Gardner.
Need to get a goal here, the Bombers, Hurdy. The Saints are right up and about, and they could blow this game apart by quarter time.
Yeah, well, if you're Matthew Knights before the game, you would have said, right, I want to keep the Saints scoreless, kick a couple early ourselves. It hasn't happened. The players need to readjust and work out how they're going to win the ball, because at the moment, the Saints are winning more of the ball.
Gee, they're switched on. Dempster. Kick to Hudson. Top of the goal square defensively. Drops a mark. Nagel wears him down. Before he got the handball off, under some pressure. They mess it up in the end, the Saints, but doesn't cost them the full goal.
Sly little hand pass, maybe was deliberately behind BT to get the kick out.
Zach Dawson. An unusual looking haircut. One that I would have gone for myself, but anyway. There's Graham. James, I can't imagine you trim too far up the sides either.
Not with the ears I've got, BT.
Dempster's, no, that's a very good point actually.
That's a throw. Good pressure here from the Bombers.
Graham. Around the corner, good ball. Gardner, prominent already. The big man, new lease of life. Many thought was gone, myself included.
The other bloke who's been getting fantastic numbers and is probably just flying under the radar a little bit is Adam Snyder, who missed a game about a month ago with the birth of a child, but he has been in scintillating form.
He has. Gilbert there.
Essendon doing well beat here to slow the St Kilda movement down. They've got it pretty well bottled over in that part of the ground. You see Rewalt break out on a great lead, which is what he's used to doing.
I think Snyder 3 goals last week, Jared, and may well have been either 3 or 4 the week before as well. Hayes taking the mark.
These last 2 weeks he's had enormous numbers. Just been would have been in the votes for sure in the St Kilda best and fairest.
Rewalt just works and works. Rafale Clark with some speed, went with a low bullet. I'm not sure it was deliberate, but it had a real good effect. Ball, one of the players fighting for his position to be retained in this team.
It would have been great for Luke Ball if he could have grabbed that mark. The ball was moving every which way in the air, which caused him not to grab it when he went for the mark.
It was a mongrel of the highest order, wasn't it?
Which they were practicing before the game, Gerald. St Kilda players.
They were just getting the mongrels out of the centre. If they're under pressure, they are obviously being asked by their coach, don't care about it, just don't make it pretty, just get it forward. We'll have a look if that happens throughout the match.
Gardner. Claw on it there, and Montagna tidied it up. Ball, just a little fumble, but it was able to recover. Ray's got time. Kick was not bad. Snyder, the man you speak of, Jared, an opportunity to score.
And just an indication, guys, of the way St Kilda's set up. You've got Jay Nagel all alone in the Essendon forward line with no St Kilda player going anywhere near him. They don't care about the individual players. They move so far up the ground to stop them getting the ball over the rest of the ground.
Snyder to follow up his 3 goals of last week and get on the board. It's a pretty damn good-looking kick. And it's a goal. They've got 3 early here, the Saints. 3 straight to 1 behind the Bombers.
Yeah, and they look ready to play. Jared, St Kilda today, they've come, and Matthew Knights there will be wondering what he has to do to stop St Kilda Footy Club.
Well, coming into this match, the Saints are pretty concerned about pace. But you've got to get the ball in your hands, and right now the number of disposals for Essendon numbers 6, and the number of disposals for St Kilda numbers 32. This has been a real shellacking. They just have not won the footy at all, the Bombers, and for their own sakes and for the sake of this contest.
Well, there's only 4 Essendon players who've touched the ball.
An eye on that funneling into the middle of the ground, Jared is. Goddard with a lovely kick. Graham's got something on here. Can go really long. Rewald's going to come over the top. Big fly, he's been paid. Did he have it long enough?
It's a square up.
Bombers say no.
Goals from turnovers absolutely kill you. They're the one thing that you can't afford to let happen. If you turn the ball over across half forward, and you've got a guy up the front of the ground like Rewald here, who's pretty obviously dragged off the ground. That was the one beforehand, and this is the one now where he holds onto the mark. A touch and go. I think he deserved a free kick the last one, but I don't think this one he held onto the mark.
30, it was the good old-fashioned square up.
Well,
it's still alive in footy, BT. That's good umpiring.
You look at those replays, there's no mark in that as Rewald comes in. He was very quick, which he has been in this new process, and this to the left.
Do you believe in the square up, BT?
I absolutely believe in the square up, Jared, and they are human like you and I, and they are prone to being squarish sometimes, these umpires, and it's okay. for mine. Here's Fletcher. McPhee Gilbert in the pack as well.
It's one over again.
Baker's everywhere at the moment. Goddard was he dealt with by Belchambers after he kicked it, didn't matter. Fisher, Ray around the corner, Rewalt makes room for Cozzy over the back.
Has he heard his chipper?
The big boys are just jumping over the top of each other down here at the moment.
I reckon you'd love to have Justin Kazitsky as your teammate, unless you're in the forward line with him. Then you tell you what, Nick Rewalt gets more bruises from him than from the opposition, I think.
There is more chances of Nick getting injured by his own teammate, namely Kazitsky, than anybody else.
But you've got to love playing with a guy whose eyes are only for the ball. Look, he doesn't take his eyes off the ball ever, that guy.
Rewalt doing the body work on the player.
Look, his hands on knees at the moment, Nick.
Cozzy picking up the cream. Kick-off line. Great contested mark he is.
And the problem with this kick from Essendon is unless you move it quickly like they have done, St Kilda just squeeze you and turn the ball over.
There's Atkinson getting a couple of opportunities.
Good last week, Atkinson.
He's looking like he's got a bit of life and running in. Dawson, an off-balance mark was good.
There's a great mark from Zach.
The Bombers' disposal efficiency is going down pretty quickly. Joe Watson, 4 disposals, none of them efficient, and the Essendon kicking efficiency down to 67%. They need to lift that up.
Real ordinary kick by Dawson. Watson's was as well, but found the hands of Alwyn Davey. Around the corner, Davey with some speed missed. The Bombers' first real clear shot at goal coming from the late replacement in Alwyn Davey. Why has he been out? He dropped for the first time in his career.
Yeah, he did. Look, he didn't have a great game last week against Brisbane. He struggled with his touch, and players get tired during the season. He just didn't look to be up and about the way he has been in previous weeks. But maybe the coach thought BT was always going to put him back in. It's just a bit of a signal to him.
A bit of a mental realignment or focusing, which young players often need when they just digress from what they're asked to do.
I think the positive thing for the Bombers at the moment is they are trying. Their intensity's up and about. They're just struggling to get through the St Kilda defence, and when St Kilda have it, they're breaking their Essendon lines a lot more easily than Essendon are doing to them.
King controlling the ruck there. Dempster and Armitage able to hold their positions in this team. Must be doing something right between those two. Here's Watson. Atkinson again went in low. Hayes was just better at it. McVeigh got a touch of it. There's Watson doing what he does best. Stanton, little chip ball. There's the little man with the little legs pumping Davey. Couldn't get free. Snyder, good decision to Baker. More often than not, they make the better decision. The good decision, the Saints. Now Graham able to run. Handball inside Rafael Clark. He too's got some wheels. Shipping ball wide. Kazitsky outmanoeuvred by Fletcher.
Well, it sets up as a terrific battle, this one. Fletcher versus Kazitsky. Kazitsky will have to be concerned about Fletcher's counter-attack.
Yep.
And because he also started the match well.
Brismore back to Fletcher.
The other end of the ground, Smithy, they've made a bit of a change and given themselves a target.
Yeah, well, Paddy Ryder's been the sole ruckman, Jared, over probably the last 10 or 12 weeks. But Tom Belchambers coming back into the side today. He's been moved to full forward at the moment. So good move by Matty Knights.
Well, Belchambers got pushed off the ball there while it was 30 metres away. How that's not interference, I'll never know. In the meantime, the ball forward to Dempster. Couldn't get hold of it. Let's have a look at this replay here of there's Belchambers getting knocked. Now, look, the ball's an eternity away. How that's not a free kick for interference when the ball's not within the required meterage, I'm not sure.
I reckon Tom went down very easily though, BT. A little nudge in the side. He didn't hold his ground like you'd expect an AFL player to.
Oh, come on. Slattery tackled over the line by a desperate Luke Ball who caught one for his work and gives him a bit of a tomahawk to the back of the head.
BT, as a full forward, do you reckon the Saints are kicking the ball into their forwards too hard? They look like they are spearing it in that tough.
It is going in low and hard, isn't it?
It's some of the, well, we've seen, I reckon, 3 so far that players haven't been able to grab.
Forwards by nature, Jared, like it delivered nice, softly and fluffy and lace out.
I think we've seen a change, boys. Andrew Welch started on Lenny Hayes. Mark McVeigh on the Lenny Hayes. These two grew up very close to each other in New South Wales, played a lot of footy with each other and would know each other's games very, very well.
Lonigan, I like this guy's Perseverance. There he is. Small man, but got plenty of go in him. Bell-Chambers at the back. Well done, McVeigh, who absorbed the punishment, knowing that he could get the possession away. He knew that hit was coming.
Yeah.
He waited until the last second, didn't he?
He did, and did it very, very well. I think that you can see the players that don't mind getting hit, they hold on to it. And that's a good hit. Would shake him up a bit.
So McVeigh. Short ball, Slattery. So every St Kilda player now forward to the ball kicker from this point in time. Fletcher's the last person, or the deepest person in defence. Sideways to Pears. Brings it over to the interchange side of the ground.
Just trying to kick it around this rolling zone, BT. St Kilda pressing, bringing all their players back over to this side. And, well, McPhee just going long.
And that's exactly what they want them to do, kick it to a contest. Got some numbers ground level though. Watson did really well. And the kick out was good as well, a little bit too high for Ryder. Able to move back, here's the help, and Davey.
Look at the numbers of the Saints.
Look at that.
There's 7-2.
A still photo of that, Jared.
That's why they're on top of the ladder undefeated.
Yep.
In a photo.
There's Luke Ball. Gilbert now. Ryder. McPhee's got an opportunity to hit Nagel. And he will find him.
Good kick on the left foot.
He's a thumping kick of the ball too, this man. 55 out. Goes low and wide. Don't think it's got the lift in the ball, and Hudson gets back.
And Essendon can't afford to have that sort of delivery into their forward line. They need to be more precise. With St Kilda putting so many numbers back there, you just can't afford to kick it away like that.
Yeah, the Saints have got it into the hands of the man they like to have kicking the ball. Baker now.
What Essendon have done is stop St Kilda's run out of the St Kilda backline. They are bottling them up, which is why St Kilda haven't been able to blow them away at this stage of the game.
Good mark, Montagna.
And there's almost a 30 disposal discrepancy between St Kilda 74 disposals, Essendon 47. So there's a lot more of the ball, but Essendon bottling them up quite well at the moment.
3-goal lead for the Saints. Armitage straight to Welsh. Love it. Murray under a little bit of pressure. Slattery, Pears. Kick in hope, really, wasn't it? Just there to punch away, but resilient, the Bombers. McPhee, the acting skipper, missed the target. Monfries did really well to tidy it up. Got it to the left. McVeigh, lovely vision. Nagel will come in and kick the goal. Good play, the Bombers.
It was good play, and it was great vision by Mark McVeigh. He saw Nagel up there free, but McVeigh on that left foot is very damaging. He's had a tough year, McVeigh. He's missed a lot of games and hasn't been in his best form, but his last couple of weeks have been good, and he'll relish the fact that he is back on Lenny Hayes. Too
many turnovers, though, as you pointed out earlier, James, and this one, fortunately, was mopped up by Angus Monfries. Have a look at that. That's just well and truly too far off the top. That was Tiger Woods to be in the rough.
But turnovers in football, Jared, will kill you. And goals from turnovers, the ones you just can't afford to have.
That was a magnificent kick, as you said.
And you won't get an easier goal than that, BT, as a full forward.
21-minute mark in the first quarter to get there first, the Bombers. There's Big Bell-Chambers in the middle. Montagna got hold of the end of it, though.
There's that mongrel out of the centre.
Kazitsky, little give. Ball's run was good, and the kick was impressive. And that's the part of the game he's been asked to tidy up. And Fisher has been found on the lead as a result.
It's an interesting move, isn't it, Jared? Fisher, I mean, we've talked about it at the start of the game, but if he can kick 3 or 4 goals up forward, and you see out of the middle of the ground, Montagna just slamming it out, which is what they were doing pre-game, practicing, as you pointed out, Jared, and then Luke Ball, who Mark McVeigh has just gone on to after kicking a goal. He's allowed his man to set up another goal.
Fisher, unlikely, first quarter for his second goal. In he comes, pretty straight, good kick, goal, got it. Fisher's got a couple, and the Saints doing it nicely.
They're going so well throughout the year. This is just another great thing for them, Jared, to have Fisher up, taking marks, kicking goals.
Well, it's probably determined by the lack of height in the forward line for the Bombers as much as it is trying to find a role for Fisher. Maybe it's just experimenting, but I guess when you look, you've got Hurley down there, you've got Nagel as well, now Bell-Chambers. They could probably find a match-up for Fisher if they like, but it would appear as if it's doing him the world of good just to give him another look at footy.
Freshens the mind, doesn't it?
Freshens it up. Back into the side. Missed last week, of course. And coming back, he's already kicked a couple of goals, so it's a good start to him.
Prior to this game, just had the 1 goal to his name for the year out of his 18 games.
And it's also taking control of this match. McPhee started at centre-half forward. He is now at full-back on the bloke who was going to start at centre-half back.
St Kilda doing well on the clearances at the moment.
They're doing very well, and I think that what you pointed out, Jared, that quick kick out of the middle of the ground. A lot of sides like to work it out, but St Kilda, they back the fact that they've got their big forwards up there, and Rewalt, Kazitsky and now Fisher, that they're going to win the contest any way it comes in.
5-0 at the moment out of the middle for the Saints, so they're dominating in that area. Stanton to Lovett. Finds Armitage. Ran into a bit of trouble. Look at the desperation of Armitage there. Now Watson has had a bit of tidying up to do. Was the handball a little heavy? Fletcher lost it momentarily. Quick hands now. Bombers can work their way out of trouble. This is what the modern footballers do really well. In tight, quick handball. Make good decisions. Good mark Hurley. A young bomber that is very likeable.
And it won't be an easy day for him. His opponent has had a fantastic year, Blake.
Hurley with a long ball forward. Couple of targets. Monfries went way too early. Hudson, got a bit of an accidental knee in the head there, or did it hit the ground? Didn't hurt him.
Interesting, got Monfries and Bell Chambers there. I'll give it back to you, BT.
Here's Welsh, comes in towards Lovett, takes the mark, he'll run and play on to kick the Bombers' second goal from directly in front. He sprayed it. Could have gone over the top with the handball. I think he made the right decision to kick it.
Not for mine. The handball was there.
If you had to kick the goal, was the right decision.
You could be a coach, Erdy, if you're going to work off the result.
This is Monfries, interesting. Monfries went for the mark and Bell Chambers stayed down. Now on their height, you'd think it would be the other way.
Del Sano. Gilbert.
Good sign for the Bombers. Angus Monfries, 6 contested possessions. He's getting in there, winning the ball. Montagna on the other side for St Kilda, 6 as well.
Real good crowd building for this one at the moment. I reckon they're going to be very high 40s.
Nice grab from King.
Twilight football, exclusive on Fox Sports as King goes long. Welsh did really well. Tell you what, Kazitsky's hurt himself here. Did he hurt his hand or his knee or his leg? But he was bent and buckled like a banana. Kazitsky's still down behind the play. We'll keep an eye on that as the ball goes forward. He's in the hands of the doctors at the moment. There's the big fella.
Did he get one in the eye, BT?
I don't know. Sort of bent in an awkward-looking position, but he seems to be recovering as the oohs go out from the crowd after seeing the replay. Here on the big screen, Bell Chambers front and centre. Extremely unlikely. And the finish wasn't great.
Another candidate for ruckmanship handball.
Have a look at this from Kazitsky. Yeah, got the hip right in the head. And he is very loose on his legs at the moment. In fact, I would say very groggy, Rowan Smith would be the way to describe him.
Yeah, I was just going to say exactly the same thing. Very groggy. They're just going to take him down underneath the grandstand. But, yeah, you wouldn't be surprised if he was actually knocked out for a couple of seconds there.
Bit of a change come over this game in the last 3 or 4 minutes. I know they're still well in arrears, but Kazitsky down maybe for the match, and the Bombers starting to win plenty of footy.
That's a great mark.
He made that kick look good, didn't he?
Yep. I don't know why you would kick it there to a 50-50 in the middle of the ground, but it's going to give them a goal. So terrific win of the ball by Paddy Ryder, and a bit of frustration, I think, by, was it Goddard or Fisher?
Looks like it was Fisher. So Paddy Ryder will be directly in front, 25 metres out. And this is about throwing the man to the ground after he'd taken the mark. And Ryder's pretty happy about it. Pretty easy kick for him. And I think Jared's right. Sense just a little bit of a change in the atmosphere of this game. Look at King doing some funny stuff on the mark there. As he comes in, keeps it low and drills it. Bombers get their second. Ryder's got his first.
When you play against the Essendon Football Club, you've always got to be wary of their run and their creativity. They're very attacking side. And always feel that they're in with a chance, the way that this side plays. You think back to Anzac Day when they came back at Collingwood, I think even the Carlton game, So they are able to score reasonably quickly. If St Kilda, as good a side as they are, start turning the ball over, start not winning that contested possession, it worries them.
Oh, gee, the impact there on Kazitsky. You can see why he's gone off the ground. Right on the hip pointer too, the hard part of the hip.
Yeah, and just knowing his history, that could have long-term ramifications.
And Jared, you can just see, just before on that shot, Lenny Hayes just come off the ground before. He's had his left elbow strapped, so he was in a little bit of pain, but he's back out in the ground.
So all of a sudden, a few little things starting to creep into this match. Bear in mind, Lovett missed one just 5 minutes ago, which could have put them another goal closer.
Absolutely. All out wide to Lonigan.
Sharp work from Lonigan.
He does some good stuff. Jared, good player. Plays with great tenacity. Welsh banging in there. And I think we'll have a ball up. Crowd getting into the contest at the moment. Bombers' home game here today, so they held the majority of support. Del Santo, who moved out of the pack early. Could hear the call from the umpire. It was clear and it was early. Prismal just a little mongrel inside forward 50. Follows up his own work. Hudson and Farron Ray both dig in for the ball. It comes out. Here he is, Lonigan, trying to drive it out with strength.
Interesting matchup in defence. You got McPhee on Rewald and Fletcher's pushed up to take Fisher across the half-back line. Still got a 2-on-1 though. Sorry, a 2-on-3.
There's Dempsey to Fletcher. He'll drive the long ball. There! Fletcher's kicked it from inside the centre square. A big ball.
And that's a great goal. That's an amazing kick from Dustin Fletcher. We all know he's a great boot, but to keep them as accurate as that from that sort of distance is sensational. That goal was a result of the Essendon pressure inside the St Kilda forward line. So that quick kick out of defence by Nick Del Santo. St Kilda don't like to do that out of defence. Dempsey free, over to Fletcher. There's some great shepherding work. Joe Watson, be lucky he didn't touch it. He might have copped a spray from Fletcher if he did, and through it went. So, maybe he did touch it. But one of the interesting stats at this present is that Essendon 19 tackles to St Kilda 17, which is quite amazing in terms of the game.
That is beautiful camera work from the Fox Sports cameras, because I tell you what, that bent the little finger back and that was touched. Clearly touched from the replay, but real difficult to see in life as it is out there for an umpire.
If you cast your mind back to last week when St Kilda had a record number of tackles, and think that the Bombers are now, I think they've been working on it during the week, saying, right, let's match St Kilda in their tackling and see what comes out of it. 19 to 17 late in the first quarter is a terrific effort.
Kazitsky back up in his feet and looking a little more composed than he was when we saw him removed from the ground. And Jared picked the slight change in this game a few moments ago, and it's certainly in favour of the Bombers.
Well, they've sorted out the clearance issue. McVeigh and Prismal have both got their hands on the ball around these stoppages.
There is Prismal. Ryder. Slattery in amongst it as well.
And they need those guys too. I mean, Joe Watson with 9 disposals, he's their clearance man. They need extra players getting it.
And Paddy Ryder's just got to get away from Big Stephen King. He can't get into a wrestling match. It's just bad ruck work, because he's going to get beaten every time, and he gets trapped into making inexperienced mistakes like that.
He's arriving at the impact point too early.
He should be back and using his leap.
Exactly. Quarter time siren sounds. It was a fast starting Saints that got away with 3 consecutive goals. Cozzy copped a bit of a blow to the head. And then the Bombers came back and kicked 3 of the last 4 goals. A 5-point game. More to come on the other side of the break. Start of the second quarter, that impact on Kazitsky. Does that bring back any memories for yourself, James? I know it was a different sort of thing, but still the impact.
Yeah, look, not good memories, that's for sure.
Going to re-ball it up in the middle because the umpire didn't quite nail the bounce. I noticed some new turf out there in the middle of this ground as well, and the umpires before the game were struggling to get the ball airborne because of that new turf out there. You can see just a little inner circle replaced with some turf. Getting it high enough, but a little difficult for them. 5-point lead to the Saints after initially in the first quarter looked like they were going to run away with this one. But the Bombers have been able to reel them back in with some calculated stuff. Dyson and McVeigh. Foreign raider Del Santo, who was very lively early. Dyson the handball out, and some heavy traffic in here. And low and hard was Stevie Baker.
Yeah, some good hustle there, and then we see the centre bounce area there with the new turf, and both sides are very inquisitive. Essendon and then Lenny Hayes, just as to how high that ball would bounce.
We're getting a fair comparison around the ground. The umpire's not having any difficulty at all, in fact bouncing it really well. BT, you would be old enough to remember when there were a couple of centre circles. Why wouldn't they just bounce the ball outside that resurfaced grass area?
Well, they could, Jared. I guess they have less margin for error in terms of recalling the bounce. That's the only thing I can think of, but you're quite right. 1 metre back towards them, or 1.5 metres, and they'd have a firmer surface probably. Perhaps they could make that adjustment. In fact, I'm going to send you out at half-time to go and tell them about that, because that's a good suggestion.
You have to draw 2 bigger circles though, boys, for the ruckman to stay inside.
Oh, yeah, now it gets complicated. Let's back off and let them bounce it in the middle, Jared, because there are a lot of ramifications.
Just throw it up and stop all the problems.
There's Lovett Murray. Yes, got a high one over the right shoulder.
And I think his teammate, was it Stephen Milne, caught one right in the jaw?
Yeah, he did.
Bit of friendly fire there for Stevie Milne.
Not surprising to see the intensity of St Kilda around the stoppage, but probably surprisingly Essendon are able to compete with them at the moment.
They are.
At that intensity, and probably just in this quarter, a bit more intense and getting the upper hand.
Any chance of an upset, Ernie?
I don't think so.
Jared's getting excited, I can feel it. He thinks and smells a possible upset. I think you're early.
I'm very early, but it's just been terrific the way they've fought back. Now, it's a question is, are the Saints going to respond?
Well, working through traffic nicely here. Kazitsky had a good jump at the ball, good sign for St Kilda supporters. Gilbert smashed in the Lovett Murray tackle. Aggressive it was. Going hard at the ball, McPhee, acting captain today. The Bombers work it forward.
Yeah, and they're winning these contests, BT. They've won the last 5 or 6 tough contests and able to work the ball out the back or forward. Their disposal isn't as clean as they would have liked, only because of St Kilda pressure at present. But if they keep winning these contests, they put themselves in a very good position.
Sam Lonergan, game 36. Chipping ball, didn't quite get there. Stanton was beaten to the ball by Del Santo. Let's have a look at that free kick. As we see the highest tackle there on Lonergan. Just, wasn't it? Graham and Farron Ray just relishing in his new surrounds at St Kilda. The left foot of Del Santo is neatly tucked to Gardner.
The ruckmen are going to play a pretty important game, play in today's game, just because they're the guys who are going to be released more so than other players, with the game being very much a one-on-one one today.
Montagna, punch away Fletcher, did well. And I suggest that right at this moment they're just checking and sensing whether Kazitsky is right to continue to go in this quarter. I reckon Ross Lyon probably said to him at quarter time, look, are you sure you're right to go? We'll give you a few minutes out on the oval and see how you go. The doctors would have cleared him to play under the tests that they do on the bench. Here's the speed of the Bombers. Dyson, lovely kick. Neagle around the corner, chipping ball. Bombers have got one loose. Kick wasn't great.
Smart play.
Kept in play by Quinn, the Irishman. Got it to McPhee. Went for the goal, hit the post. Monfries was there waiting.
He did the right thing. He thought he did the right thing. Angus let it go. Trying to be unselfish. But sometimes, Erdy, you've just got to grab it. And he let it go, and bang, there's a goal gone down the tube.
McPhee probably didn't need to kick it as hard either. He could have probably just put it in the goal square for Monfries to mark.
Here's Graham under some pressure. Good pressure skills all around from the Bombers that are really making it more difficult for the Saints. Just going to go back to this spoil from Dustin Fletcher. Given that you're not allowed to grab the hands anymore, the ability to be able to punch left and right is quite an asset.
Well, his closing speed on a player is amazing, Jared, but also the length of his arms.
There's Hurley.
Almost unnatural.
In front, couldn't hold him, McPhee. Monfries caught one high. And he'll get it free. And this could put the Bombers in front.
And Monfries is brilliant at this. As soon as he feels pressure, his legs go out from under him. Like any good small forward, he knows how to win a free kick. And this tackle probably started in the right position, but Monfries just drops. I might be being a bit kind there to Sam Gilbert, but
very kind.
He's beautiful, Monfries, at getting those free kicks just around the neck.
Monfries lines up remarkably after St Kilda had 3 goals on the board in 7 minutes in the first quarter. Looked like they were going to win by 20 to put the Bombers in front early in the second quarter. Monfries comes in. No mistake there. Drills it home. The home crowd here of Bomber fans love it. And Jared Healy is sensing an upset.
Bombers kicked the last 3 goals, Jared. St Kilda's last goal was the 22-minute mark of the first quarter. So they've gone really, 15 minutes without scoring a goal.
And in that time, you've had the Monfries one and you've had the Lovett one at the other end of the ground. So without doubt, they are miles away from causing an upset. But the beauty is, we've got a great contest, I think, that's going to unfold, because the Bombers now, I think, just get a little sneaky suspicion that they might be a chance in this match. Coming in, they would have hoped. But right now, at the start of the second quarter, they're starting to believe in themselves.
And they're playing for a spot in the finals, Jared. This is the crunch game for Essendon. I know they're playing against the best team in the competition, but this is a massive game for the Essendon Football Club. Should mean a lot to the players.
Head high contact from his own man there, got up.
Play from Lonergan.
Watson, wasn't a good looking kick. Front centre Watson went and got it again. He needs some helpers. Got it out, opportunity. Lonergan, love it. Little definite kick around the corner. Monfries didn't have it. Hurley, kick it, goal. Another one for the Bombers. They've kicked 4 in a row.
Jared Healy out of his chair. There might be something more riding on this game, Jared. But Essendon definitely up and about. And Joe Watson, a bad kick into the forward line, but the way he chased the ball down and regathered and won it back for the Essendon Football Club. And you see Scott Camperelli very, very happy in the Essendon box there. Big smile. One of your favourites, I know, BT, Campo.
Scotty. Have a look at this. Hurley went underground.
Nice
He knew
goal.
the smother was coming from Dawson over the top and deliberately kept the ball low and didn't follow through with the foot. Look at that. Bang. Little snapper. 4 in a row for the Bombers.
Well, we'll see if that rest, Jared, to those 7 St Kilda players has helped them out with the recovery and bounce back they need.
Well,
right now.
They're reacting pretty savagely now in the box, because Fisher is back to centre half back.
All experiments over. Well, Jared, we go back to normality.
We do, normal transmission, but maybe it's too late.
But the freight train is rolling. That is the Bombers. Monfries, a little right foot spinner on the ground. 5 in a row. Bombers by 14. Jared out of his seat again.
Joe Watson yet again out of the middle of the ground. We've come to admire the way he wins the ball in the centre of the ground, but he has got this side ignited and started, Jared. We see a quick kick. Beautiful. Just get him out of the middle as quickly as you can. And then Hurley there getting himself in front. The guy kicked the last goal. Monfries a very smart goal on the outside of his foot. And look, it's going to be a very interesting game, and the Bombers are up and about, and St Kilda need to respond.
She's there quick. The quick hands, when their skills match their speed of foot, they are very, very tough to stop.
Exactly.
5 Essendon goals in a row. Remarkable turnaround in this game, and Ross Lyon and team all over, spinning the changes in the box at the moment.
I reckon there's so many players around the contest now that there are walls of players they've got to look through.
Look at the space. Lovett Murray wants to give it to Lovett. Gave him time to find space. And now Lovett with a long ball. Here comes Hurley. He was being held. He got drilled on top of the head. And he'll get a free. Hurley's got the free 50 out. Hudson thinks he's got it.
He said, Hurdy, if he drills this one, you won't be the only Essendon supporter that's in love with him.
Michael Hurley was impressive last week up forward, and this could be his second goal in the quarter, playing on one of the premier backmen in the competition in Max Hudson.
How could Hudson think he was going to get a free?
Well, every good backman thinks they've never given away a free kick in their life.
Well, here is Hurley for his second goal of the quarter. This would make it a 6-goal consecutive streak for the Bombers. We're right behind it. We're going to ride it with him. It's a good-looking ball. It's all about the journey. Touched on the line.
Well played by Brendan Goddard, I think it was. Just Just made it count.
So the Saints, well, the Bombers in the midfield continue to admire their work.
Yeah.
The Saints are all of a sudden on the wing.
It's a very good call, BT.
Dempster ran too far and let the Bombers off the hook.
Well, they were charging down the middle of the ground, the Bombers that were having a look at the scoreboard, BT.
Yep.
But as you said, Sean Dempster, he just lost the plot temporarily.
Well, Jared, he had basically no one to kick to because Essendon had probably put 5 or 6 guys behind the ball. So the Essendon midfielders are really working hard at the moment.
There's a big area of grass out there, Smithy. You could tick it to that. Low ball, here they come again, the Bombers. Quinn's involved here. He's injected a little bit of something in there as well. Pears involved out wide. Here goes Hurley again. He's found something in Monfries.
Smart player, Hurley, Jared.
Yes, he thinks it through. That was terrific play. I think there was a sign now. Fred Stanton was going through the middle. He nearly overcooked it. The one thing they've done really well is keep it simple, the Bombers.
To make it 3 goals in the quarter for Monfries. He's well within range, 35 out, bit of angle about it. This to get the roof bouncing here at the Dome. To make it 6 straight for Essendon. Monfries for his 3rd of the quarter comes in and misses. Very, very big build-up for a result that was very, very ordinary. Delsano.
That's a
the
magnificent
hands are great from Kazitsky.
And that is an example to every forward playing at the top and the bottom level.
That's why you don't mark it on the chest when there's a defender on your tail.
When you just have to. When you're against Dustin Fletcher, you are not going to take a chest mark.
You've got to have extension in your arms. You've got to have those jukes out working. Dempster inboard, here's Fisher. Got a chance to go all the way here, Fisher. From 52 out, didn't quite get it, slightly off the instep. In they come, Kazitsky! Threw himself across the front. But I think the mark has been paid, it has.
What about the work rate for Justin Kazitsky? Yeah. He was heading off to hospital 25 minutes ago. He came back on the ground. His coach wasn't convinced at quarter time. We saw the vision, and now he has just displayed 30 seconds of football that may get the Saints back into this match.
Have a look at the wide shot here. Tell me those Bomber players are within legal distance there. They're about 3 metres away from him. Kazitsky comes in, no hope of playing on, he's missed it to the near side.
It's a good point, BT, because most players would play on from that point, but they were so close. Here's the mark against Fletcher. Like, Fletcher's just so quick and normally closes down people, but that's a terrific mark by just getting his long, strong arms out in front of himself.
Love it over the top and finds McVeigh.
So the players have got to be 5 metres away.
Yep.
In a corridor.
Yep. It was a 15-point Essendon lead. Oh boy, Big Bell Chambers getting a piece of it as well in the air. It's all happening for the Bombers. Here's the wee man, Alwyn Davey.
Playing a smart brand of footy here, the Bombers. They're just trying to chip the ball down 30-metre to 30-metre leads. I think man-on-man they believe and they probably know they're a lot quicker.
High ball to the pack, Ryder. Over the top of it, he was about 3 deep.
And one way to expose the Saints is by making it one-on-one contest.
Oh boy, Dempsey's got long and deep. If he can put it in the air, he'll get the jump. He's got Delsano sitting under the ball. A little late. Here it comes now, and the ball is too short. It'll land with Delsano. Off hands Watson. Could have gone for home. Went for the handball to Davey. Watson again. Left foot high ball. Bombers have got some numbers around this. Don't win it in the air. Brush off hands. Snap it, goal. I think it might be there again. It is. The Bombers have got another one.
And that was a very smart goal from Prisnell there. Yeah. His body wasn't shaped in any direction that he's entitled to kick a goal like that, and snapped it through from excellent position. But Paddy Ryder here, some fantastic contested pack mark. Talk about contested marks going out of the game. That's a great pack mark. And you see Joe Watson had a couple of chances to shoot, put it up in the air, and the ball hits the ground. But the Prisnell kick here floats through nicely.
Well, it was interesting because he had 6 or 7 Saints around him, but none of them were closing down on the footy. I think there's just been an element of spectating crept into the Saints game in defence. and they are being exposed by the Bombers.
They are indeed. 21-point lead now. A 40-point turnaround since the 14-minute mark of the first quarter. That's right, a 40-point turnaround against the unbeaten top side, the all-conquering Saints. Not just some old hack team. The guns of the competition we're talking. Farron Ray, Bell Chambers, the run, they've got space.
And this is what they're doing. They're getting out of the St Kilda forward line too easily. No other side, well,
the Watson
kick it properly, but no other side has been able to get out of St Kilda forward line that easily.
Kazitsky will line up, and Watson had nothing down the field, tried to go across and just had a little bit too much loft on the ball, giving the defenders time to get into position.
Joby's kicking efficiency at the moment down to 25%. He's been working so hard that he's so tired when he gets the ball, but probably needs to kick it a little bit better than that.
Kazitsky for his first goal, right behind this one. That is right on line. That's a great goal. The Bombers respond with 7.5 remaining in the first half.
From on the 50, even outside the 50, Justin Kazitsky is nearly the best kick in the game.
Yeah, it's a beautiful kick for goal. And just watching him before the game warm up, he just didn't miss. And
he is unbelievably accurate. You've got probably Fev who can roost the ball incredibly high. He has his moments where he never misses as well.
Takes me back to those days when Brad Ottens was at Richmond and firing and had a similar sort of look about him in terms of kicking.
I thought you were going to say it takes you back to those days when you're kicking them yourself, BT.
No, I wouldn't say that at James. I've forgotten I'd actually played. But
we never forget.
He also draws the ball. He doesn't have any slide on it, and the ball goes the same way all the time. He's got a magnificent action.
And that's important for a kicker, because if you know what your ball does in the air, whether it's a left to right or right to left consistently, then you know where to aim. Makes sense. The Bombers. Elwyn.
He's got pace, got to use it.
Got little tiny legs that run fast.
So is this bloke.
Love it.
That's a great
good
goal.
kick. Hurley. Or is it McPhee? It's the latter.
Just kicking a goal from here. There's so many players so deep in defence. Trying to spot somebody up is, I reckon, less percentage than shooting.
And it's a nice kick for a right footer too. You're not on that much of an angle. If you can come out a little bit, you've actually got quite a nice kick for goal out of that pocket.
McPhee to just steady the ship, just lost their way for a minute or two here. The Bombers. There's McPhee from the pocket that tends to glide a little left to right, and there it is. The left to right ball from that pocket is a goal to McPhee. Well thought out, well executed.
It's a great call, BT, that left to right. It shouldn't go left to right, it should actually go right to left, but for some reason at this stadium, on that pocket, it does do a bit more left to right.
Particularly when it's in the hands of players that always kick the ball left to right.
Well, no, it's a left to right sliding pocket, Jared. There is a theory at that end. I'm telling you.
Put Justin Kazitsky down there and see if it slides. It may well be, BT, but you've been selling us that for 20 rounds and we're on board with you.
Please swallow it, digest it, and say thank you.
The stats say it's a left to right.
Well, it's a magnificent kick anyway.
But it should go the other way, shouldn't it?
It depends on who's kicking it.
No, it doesn't. It's got there's a wind tunnel effect coming through there. It's one of the openings in the ground, Jared.
The umpires are doing much better at these centre bounces.
See that tap? That was an amazing tap.
It was indeed. Watson. Little Stevie Baker in there. Goddard won a hard ball by putting his nose over the top of it. Couldn't control it. Watson out of the action. Sano involved, and now they get an opportunity to run off half-back for one of the few times in this game, the Saints.
In trouble.
Montagna gave it to a hot Ray who sensed. Fisher's kick has been ripped out of the air by Dyson. A dynamite kick from Dyson. And the Bombers have got it on here as well. Bell Chambers short kick. And taking the mark is Quinn. Can he go the journey? The young Irishman. Little chipping ball sideways. And that's a good kick, but not to a kicker. So Watson sets up goal kicking.
When does the lead get worrying for St Kilda, Gerald? If he kicks this goal, or is it still?
Oh, no, I think the worry was there right from probably the time the game changed. They came in knowing that if they didn't win the footy at the contest, they could be exposed by the pace.
For a 27-point lead for the Bombers. Bearing down on half-time, doesn't go for home, goes for a wonderfully disguised kick.
Smart player, Watson.
Freeze.
Smart player is Watson. In fact, he's kicked the ball dreadfully today. and yet he's pulled out his best when everybody at St Kilda was asleep thinking he was going to have a shot at goal.
This is a terrific kick for goal.
Well, he's got it in the hands of Monfries, who's been pretty good.
And he should have a look at that kick, Joe Watson, because he always stuffs it up when he runs straight and tries to kick straight. Round the corner, he has just delivered a magnificent kick.
Monfries for his third of the quarter. In he comes. Kick a little left to right, Jared. There's another one. Got it. Monfries got 3 in the quarter.
And the game has opened up, only 4 tackles since the 10-minute mark of this quarter, so really both sides just trying to win the ball and run. But if we watch here, Paddy Ryder's tap out of the middle of the ground, it's an amazing tap, gets up and flicks over the back of his head down to the player. It's great ruck work, and people say ruck work's dead are well and truly wrong. Joe Watson there, disguising his kick beautifully. I mean, Jobe's had a terrific game, 19 dispossession, 19 disposals, kicked the ball away a little bit, but this guy, Angus Monfries, 3 goals for the quarter. He is on fire, Jared.
He is. I think that just in response to the ruck work, we are seeing a huge revival with these guys that are jumping high for the ball. And you look at Paddy Ryder in particular, who right now is jumping rather than trying to wrestle. And that was a good work by King.
Another good tap there.
Watson legged, did it really well. Great play. Dempsey was on the run to goal. Cut off by Stanton. The low bullet. Monfries!
He's having a game.
The goal number 4 of the quarter. Angus Monfries. 2 names that are unusual.
And we see Paddy Ryder, another tap again. I think Ryder got it. Just a really soft one out to the side. And those taps, if they come down hard, they're hard to take. When they come down softly like that, they're so much nicer. And Brent Stanton delivering the ball into Angus Monfries there. But Paddy Ryder just showing ruck work, or tapped ruck work, the way it should be played.
For his 4th goal of the quarter, Monfries steps to the plate, lines it up, and drills it home. The Bombers by a staggering 33 points. Jared.
Well, it's been entertaining to watch. Given that the Saints kicked out, looked like they were going to blow Essendon away from Etihad Stadium. This is an unbelievable result. Do you think there could be an upset now, Hurdy?
Well, it's looking like there could be. I mean, you wouldn't knock St Kilda at 33 points. Is not a lot for this St Kilda team with the type of the quality of attacking players they've got. But if Angus Monfries can keep that form up, and the rest of the team can do that, it's amazing what can happen.
Let's go down to Rowan Smith. Some news on Fletcher. Smithy.
Well, BT, Essendon would probably be a little bit more worried if the ball was going down there, but Dustin Fletcher actually ran off the ground about 5 or 6 minutes ago, straight underneath the grandstand. The doctors and physios didn't follow him. I don't know, I'm not too sure whether he needed to go at all or not, but Adam McPhee is on Kazitsky at full back at the moment, so it's a little bit of a mismatch, but as I said, the ball's not getting down there, so they're not too worried at the moment.
Be an unusual time to go, Smithy.
It definitely would be, but he still hasn't emerged from underneath yet, so I'll just keep an eye out for him. But the doctors and physios still are up here, not worried about him.
And the Essendon runner out there right now, Smithy, just dragging blokes down, belt changes, a lot of them.
Yeah, he's pulling everyone back, Jared, just to block up the hole.
Rowan Smith all over it there. There's
St Kilda really need a goal before half-time.
There's Graham. This is online, hasn't got the legs. Might get a shepherd over the back, though. Hits the bottom of the post. On the half volley.
Is that a free kick, Jared? I mean, Pear's not having his eye on the ball, pushing back into rewind.
I would have paid it.
So the Bombers are alive.
I get confused by the pushing rule here. We have been ever since Rocker got penalised against Fletcher.
Stanton. Love it. Sensed. He was being shadowed. Atkinson, they won't let him run with the ball at all.
Got away with the first. The second was just asking for trouble.
That's your prior opportunity rule, Jared. Handling to a bloke under pressure to get yourself out of trouble.
Goddard, no hesitation in centering the ball. Milne waits at the front of the pack. The mark taken by Kazitsky.
There's no one to match up on him, as you said, Smithy. His opponent is down, getting treated underneath.
Yeah, and I was a little bit worried about that matchup, McPhee on Cozzy at full forward, and Dustin Fletcher still hasn't emerged from underneath the grandstand. I'm not too sure whether he's gone down into their rooms or not, but he's been off for probably 7 or 8 minutes.
First goal. You like sitting on the seat, Smithy, but don't be frightened to go down to the rooms.
First goal, BT, for St Kilda since the 20-minute mark of the first quarter.
Yes, as Kazitsky comes in. shot at goal is there. Cossey's got a couple. The Saints, with 1:34 remaining in the half, have just stolen one back to get it back to a 26-point margin.
Let's take a look at this contest again, Hurdy.
He's got his eyes on the ball, and they both had hold of each other. Rewalt didn't look too disappointed about the free kick, didn't complain too much. But another Essendon turnover caused this kick to come back in to a St Kilda goal. They have to work out those turnovers. Just
on Nick Rewalt, he's had just 6 disposals. This is a huge scalp for a young kid.
Well, Pears played on Brown last week, and Brown didn't kick a goal. If he can keep Rewalt goalless, probably the two best forwards in the competition at the moment, keeping them goalless. Great effort.
26 points. Goddard. Rewalt. Not paid. Pears gets the ball while Rewalt lies on the ground. Here's Atkinson. Good kick to some space. Stanton gets some help with a shepherd from Hurley. But in the end, Hudson did well to put him under enormous pressure. Quinn came through. Lonigan there. Took him on, Fisher. Dropping the ball. Good call by the umpire.
Good play by Quinn, attacking the ball and then backing up for the tackle.
Why were they waiting for the man to get off the mark? Quinn should have just played on. And he does now to Welsh. 55 out to Watson. Now St Kilda players have got to be alert here. He's going to try and shift it sideways. Firstly, Watson now kicks deep and over the top. Ryder there on the wrong side of him. Didn't kick it to his advantage. And if you're not sure about your kicking, you've at least got to get that part right. Del Sano got some space, the Saints. Blake. Rewalt running to space. Pagan's paddock style. Over the top it comes. Rewalt, good mark.
Great kick and a great mark.
Well, 15 seconds and ticking down. This would be a timely goal for the Saints, who have 2 for the quarter, both off the boot of Kazitsky. Absorb me some facial punishment there too.
On the way down.
Siren sounds. Rewalt after the siren to get it back to a 20-point margin. Been a terrific quarter for the Bombers. They've kicked 7 goals. Rewalt lines it up. Comes in and sticks it through. It's back to 20 points. It's game back on here. Look at the St Kilda players go to Rewalt. The Bomber fans stand and applaud. And a 40-point turnaround in this game. The Bombers lead at 10-6-66 to the Saints 7-4-46. The Bombers got 9 of the last 12 goals in the game. So evenly poised at the moment. The Bombers are giving the Saints, in fact the Saints are giving the Bombers a 20-point start in this second half. Here's Dempsey with a lovely kick to Watson. Got to find someone on the lead. Could have gone short to Monfree's long ball to the contest. Was McPhee being held? He wanted the free. Nothing on. Goddard kept it alive dangerously. Still in no man's land. Socker off the ground. Nagel's got it. Not a great decision defensively from the Saints.
There's 3 or 4 mistakes there in one BT, but Essendon got the ball back in, and Goddard almost flicked it back in, and Nagel an opportunist goal, but that's a great start for the Bombers, Gerard.
Magnificent start, and Smithy, they've made a quick change. McPhee's gone forward.
Yeah, McPhee's gone forward, and Hurley has actually been moved on to Cossey, so a big job for the young guy, but Hurley, I know you're in love with him, so hopefully he can do the job.
So I tell you what, you don't want to say you're impressed with a player once, do you?
And here it is, just have a look at the defensive efforts there by the Saints. The coach will want to know why that wasn't pushed over the line, and it's opened it up for Nigel.
I think it's got to do, Gerard, with the players still not understanding that even when they are under pressure, they can take it over the line. And they're just unsure of it. Right up to Watson again. Boy, is he having a big say in this game, Jobe Watson.
Hope Carmichael Hunter is watching this, because the boy from Island Quinn is having a fair impact in his kicking. He hits the target.
Jobe Watson, last time they played, career high 39 disposals, currently on 22 disposals, so he enjoys playing the St Kilda Footy Club.
He's on target. Watson, you can see in the foreground there with Del Sono. There's Hayes, didn't get a bit of it. There he is, the man of the game.
And on
Watson, great non-preferred side kick to Monfries. Monfries from a long way out. A high ball. No good for the Bombers. Now McVeigh's got it to do in the pocket, and that's out of bounds. That was out of bounds. The umpire was unsighted though. He saw him, he couldn't see it. Free kick will go to Watson.
Here we go.
That ball was out of bounds. And a free kick will be the result for the Bombers directly in front, 20 metres out. So a certain goal. Gilbert shaking his head in disbelief. Let's have a look at it. As McVeigh grabs possession of the ball, takes it over the line clearly, but because the boundary umpire is behind, he couldn't see where exactly the ball was. And there's the result, free to Watson. Watson to put the Bombers 32 up. They've come out on fire here, the Bombers. This man been responsible for most of it. Watson nurses that one through. The Bombers by 32, not quite a game-high margin, but very, very close.
Look, you're right, BT. He's having a terrific game, Joe Watson, and been involved in every forward line passage that Essendon have had so far this quarter. But again, the Essendon, that goal was created through just Essendon pressure and Essendon wanting to work, and McVeigh getting the ball, getting it back in. Essendon are up and about, and Kilda, Jared, just look a little bit flat.
They haven't won the footy at the contest so far, and as much as the Saints dominated the first 5 minutes of the first quarter, Essendon have done the same in this opening part. Fletcher comes off the ground. You could be lulled into thinking that it's just going to happen because Cossey's going to break out, and they've got the mismatch with Rewald, but the ball hasn't been down there.
Watch the work of Ryder here, didn't quite get near the ball on that occasion. Dyson bundled out of the way, Montagna just scrapped it forward. Rewald's got the break on his opponent there and takes the mark. In front of Pears, turns around, brings the ball back into the Milne direction. Free kick will go the way of Milne here. A hold. Slattery's disappointed with the decision. Got him across the face, says the umpire. We'll have a look at that on the replay. Gee.
I think they both got each other across the face.
No.
I mean, Slattery certainly started at first, but it was pretty touch and go.
Milne comes in, steps to the line. He was very hurried with the kick, and he misses.
So Kilda's average score for the year is 100 points. You'd think they're going to have to kick more than that to win this game with Essendon already on 78.
Early from fullback. Lovett Murray should have gone back into the play. He chose not to. Free kick the Saints. Just starting to get hold of this last minute or so. Ball. Good mark, Cossey.
He does look the player capable of just having the breakout.
You'd back him from here, wouldn't you, Jared?
Oh,
it's such a beautiful kick for goal. We'll see if the left to right works here. It's a very straight kick.
When you're this far out, you're not quite on the angle. The slider doesn't work. You've got to be on the right angle. But this will have a little bit of slide as well. Although he's gone around on a hook run up. There it is, goes way out to the right, even with the hook run up.
Point proven.
Up they go. No win in the air.
What it does
tackled.
Milne's missed a shocker. And that one's just been off the side of the boot, although he's had a pretty good game, Cossey. They are genuinely off at the present time, the Saints.
Yeah, they're not playing at their best, and they've got to get back to winning the ball and just hunting in packs around the contest. That's where they're so good, and at the moment they're leaving each other one out.
Stanton.
Great kick.
Was. McPhee. Good game brewing here on Fox Sports. Stay with us. This one's going to go to the wire. You get the feel.
One of the highlights in Kilda's game also has been their frontal pressure and stopping sides, moving it out of their back line. Oh, sorry, their forward line. But at the moment, Essendon are able to get it out far too easily.
There's an example of the pressure skills they're capable of, which we haven't seen a hell of a lot of in this game. Hayes to Rewalt.
Starting to run. Starting to run the Saints from behind.
I'm sensing something, Jared, and it's not Bomber bound. The Saints Graham for a shot on goal.
Well, it was a breakdown. They have to, I guess, risk losing to win the footy and to win the match, but it was a handball from Lonergan that went astray. Gave it to a bloke under pressure, and the turnover should cost them.
An average second quarter, had a very good first quarter, Graham. Shot on goal, and that has been dragged across the face as well, so Not on at the moment, the Saints, in terms of goal kicking. Some underarm artwork there for Graham.
It's the amount of shots they're having at goal. Eventually they'll straighten up the Saints. Bombers have got it.
Here they go, the Bombers into trouble. Milne, the soccer, the striker. Milne kicks the goal. There is the renowned St Kilda pressure.
And it's classical, BT. That's a classical St Kilda goal. Just the pressure all around the defence or the forward line for them, stopping the ball coming out. And Essendon just didn't know where to go. They didn't have options. And Prismal, you can blame Prismal for that handball, but he didn't have an option. I suppose Dempsey was the one that sold him into a certain amount of trouble. Prismal trying to get himself out of it. Probably maybe should have given it back to Dempsey, but there were 4 or 5 St Kilda players around that contest, and Milne putting it through.
Does it amaze you, Jared, that the one player doing the damage for me, if you take Jobe Watson out of the Essendon lineup, they're in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah.
Why can't St Kilda close him down?
Well, they haven't tried to close him down.
Why not?
Because I think they're backing in their own blokes, Hayes and Del Sando, etc. But looks like Del Sando now has the direct responsibility, or that may have been Luke Ball.
Well, that was nearly another clearance there to Watson.
Yeah, it's definitely Luke Ball now who's gone under Watson.
Okay. So here is Hayes right in the middle. Montagna ran into Davey, dropping the ball.
And without Jones, BT, they probably don't have that. They haven't got the typical tagging player in there that would close down Watson.
True. Prismal with a scorching kick. Neagle keeps it alive. Clean hands. Left foot goal attempt missed. Belchambers says, "What about me?"
He was there. He was under the pump. Nagel may not have hurt him. In fact, the kick going into Nagel should have gone to Belchambers as well.
Rafael Clark, things starting to hot up under the roof of the dome. King out there with Ryder. Ryder nursing him under the ball. The Bombers handling it reasonably well at the moment. Here's Watson. Made pairs run with Rewalt. Once again, the pressure skills forced the turnover for the Bombers, and they are becoming a little more frequent now. Let's have a look at this last goal attempt from Nagel when he could have used Belchambers. Have a look at that, running to an open goal. I guess he didn't have a lot of time in defence. Jared looks at me in disgust.
No, it should have been a handball. Definitely should have been a handball. Smithy, this crowd, both sides are now right into it.
Yeah, they're starting to get right into it, Jared. And I've just noticed this. Brent Stanton's just down here on the bench, just talking to the physio. He's just struggling with a high groin or a hip flexor. He's just had a little bit of work done on it. He's just bent over at the moment. So hopefully for the Bombers he can come back on. But he's just shaking his head. He's not happy at the moment.
Dustin Fletcher, for those that have just joined us on the bench there, sitting next to Mark McVeigh, has looked like he has been ruled out of this game unless absolutely necessary. With a back complaint, there's Atkinson. Broke the line beautifully, took a run. He's getting an escort. He's getting an escort to 50. Then he launches a long ball that's on target. A good shepherd through a goal. They all rise as one at the Dome. Atkinson.
And that time it was brilliant teamwork by Nagel. He was the one who shepherded this through. And you can write that one down to him. But this young man, Hurdy, he is a find.
Yeah, he was very good last week, and when he gets it, he's hard to catch. His speed is terrific. Played, I think, 4 or 5 games last year. Back in the team now. Not the most, the prettiest kick, but you're right. Was that Paddy Ryder in the goal scorer shepherding it through? But terrific team effort. Hard to catch when guys run hard and fast and back themselves. It's good football by the Bombers. What Essendon are able to do in the defensive part of the ground is also have a spare man, so every time the ball comes in St Kilda's forward line, they're running it out and getting through those St Kilda lines.
Wonder when the desperation from the Saints will start to creep in, whether that's towards the end of this quarter and they start to do things that perhaps we haven't seen them do.
They've certainly lifted their intensity the last 5 minutes.
Yep.
As you see, Angus Monfrey's getting hit quite hard there. It's by Zach Dawson.
Just hard at the ball. Neither side willing to give. You get the feeling if the Bombers get another one, they can just start to split the St Kilda faith a little. McPhee. Montagna. Lovett marks. Now, if he gets the ball airborne, James, he can go the journey.
Yes, I know he can definitely kick it. There's no doubt that this is definitely within his range. But Essendon pressure, causing the quick kick out of the contest. St Kilda don't like doing that. They normally like to run it out of their back line, and the pressure is making them do that.
There's one bloke who hasn't actually been on fire given Essendon's lead.
Andrew Lovett comes in very deliberate. The Bombers by 37. Lovett says, how easy. And a free kick. A free kick may well go to the Bombers here, is it?
It's St Kilda free kick, I think.
Okay, St Kilda free kick it is. I think it was against Ryder there. So it'll be a St Kilda free in the middle. The Bombers won't mind though, they lead it by 37 points, and that's the reason for the free kick. A bit of Paddy Ryder getting Hudson over the perimeter piping.
Maxie was right onto it. He wanted the free kick.
It's lucky he gave it when he gave it, not
earlier.
30 seconds earlier, or it wouldn't have been a goal. So St Kilda have the kick. Essendon players aren't onto it. They haven't woken up to it and haven't manned up in the St Kilda forward line or even plugged the holes.
There they go. They weren't aware of it. You're quite right. Look at them run now. You can't see in that shot, but...
Well, that's amazing that they didn't know that. I mean, the whole ground knew that, by the players.
Gilbert, a long ball. Here's Daddy Longlegs, Gardner.
I mean, it's poor play by the Essendon players. They should have had 15, 16 men back in that defensive area, knowing the ball was going to go in. And if a goal gets kicked by Gardner here, you'd have to say it's just poor attention to the task at hand by the Essendon players.
Biggest lead of the game, 37 points in favour of the Bombers. Would be a remarkable comeback from the Saints from here. Gardner, no more than about 35 metres out, difficult angle. The left to right slider, there it is. Hits the inside of the post when he aimed for the outside of the post.
Had it been a left to right slider, I reckon it would have gone through, BT. It moved maybe a millimetre.
Well, it did
left
move.
to right.
Some move it more than others.
Might have moved right to left, dare I say it. He needs a lift though, Gardner. He's been terrific, as we know, one of the great stories of the year, but today it's been a pretty ordinary afternoon.
Early with the kick back into play, Gardner couldn't hold the mark. Davey Watson, really good pressure handball. Prismal likewise with a kick to Quinn. Look at the Irishman, funny looking fella. Oh boy, getting a little carried away, but carried it off to Quinn as he goes wide and over the line.
He did it a couple of times last week, boys, and
got away with it.
He didn't get away with it last week, but no, good on him, backing himself through it, and not often than St Kilda miss a tackle, but he's a slippery fella.
He's gaining in confidence with the candy self. Won't be long before he runs into a candy store owner.
Slattery's one of the better players for the Bombers. He's taken out Snyder today, and he's creating attacks himself.
Nagel's been paid the mark. Dawson said he had a piece of it.
It's all just falling into place for the Bombers. That mark even by Nagel there had no right to really mark it after he spilt it, lost the sight of where the ball was and fell into his arms.
Not serious about the journey here, is he?
Fletcher kicked it from here.
Yeah, on the run, he might have to... No, just goes out wide with a kick. Big Bell Chambers is there. Gardner got a piece of it. Off hands Ryder around the corner. He's got it. Ryder's got it. 42-point lead. Bombers.
Well, luck's a fortune, isn't it? That kick sort of seemed to go to the St Kilda ruckman. Why would you kick it at St Kilda ruckman, but then falls into the hands of Paddy Ryder? And that's great skill, Gerard. I mean, not many people can take the ball, spin round on the right in the rock pocket, and twist it through the goal. The ball hasn't got a right to spin that way, and it did.
No, this was a brilliant conversion. Not a bad kick from Nagel. And then just a magnificent snap at goal. McPhee does the contest. It's a big contest all round. That's genuine talent, though, as you said.
For a ruckman, it's great skill.
That is genuine talent.
Paddy Ryder with his second goal. This is a remarkable Bomber performance. Is the all-conquering run of St Kilda coming to an end? Or can they come back from 42 down? The 17-minute mark of the third. Mark taken inside 50, Lonergan.
Well, I think whichever way the result goes, BT, it's going to be remarkable. If Essendon win and break the streak, it's amazing. But if St Kilda can win from this far down, it's maybe even more remarkable, Gerard.
Are they doing St Kilda a favour right now, Purdy?
Well, let's see what happens. But as Sammy Lonergan comes in to kick a goal.
Sam Lonergan, game 36. In he comes. It's there, I think. No, just offline with the left-hand side of the minor score, so a 43-point lead now with the Bombers.
I know a lot of people don't agree with this philosophy, but I reckon St Kilda are going to be closer to winning a flag if they lose this match than if they win it.
Great composure from Goddard there. Snyder sees Gardner. Gardner wants to give it. The little chip kick is great to Milne and he'll mark. Milne will go back and kick the goal. He's wanting someone to come. Cozzy offers the lead. He ignores that now. He'll settle in to his set shot routine.
Important goal for St Kilda. I mean, that's an understatement, but there are times in the game they can kick a goal. They've still got 7 minutes to get back into the game in this quarter if he kicks it.
Stephen Milne from just outside 50 goes with a long ball. Offline and a minor score.
He doesn't look like the player he's been all year today, Jared, has he, Milne? He's been off, and Slattery certainly had the better of him.
No, St Kilda don't look like anything there, so they're not working. They're not working anywhere near as hard as we've seen throughout the match, throughout the season.
4 behinds in this quarter for the Saints. Clean off the ball with their kicking.
The biggest story, though, BT, is not so much about St Kilda and their finals prospects. It's about the Bombers. Right now, they're in the 8.
Yep.
They've just got to close this match out. They'll replace Port Adelaide, and they are going to go into these final 2 rounds with their excellent form.
They will indeed.
And if they do make it to the 8 and they play this sort of footy, Jared,
they're going to be dangerous.
Hayes. St Kilda got some numbers here. Ball in front. Dempster. A couple deep. Good grab.
but they need to, for Essendon to win this game, the last 6 minutes of this quarter are very, very important. They need to make sure they keep the score where it is and don't let St Kilda kick 2 late goals like they did in the second quarter.
Dempster lines up. Another shot at goal. They've missed 4 in the quarter. This one's going to miss to the left as well. And so not getting it done in front of the big sticks in this quarter, the Saints.
Do bear in mind, no Fletcher, no Lloyd. Windelich not playing. Kyle Reamer's a late omission. Significant outs for the Bombers coming into this match, including some today.
Gilbert keeps it alive momentarily.
And you think back to the first 5 minutes, guys, where St Kilda, dominated the game. Essendon have kicked 14 of the last 18 goals. Remarkable effort. Only mistake Angus Monfries has made today.
Ryder been good in the ruck. McVeigh clever. Tap onto Prismal. The interception though, here go the Saints. Milne around the corner will kick this goal without any doubt whatsoever. Bread and butter stuff for him. The Saints get the one they need.
Look, McVeigh's tap was clever, but Prismal then turning the ball over. Not an ideal piece of play, as we see straight into the hands of Clark there, and ball over to Milne. I mean, he's so dangerous, Milne, that even in this last quarter he can have a massive impact on the game, because when he's on, he's one of the deadliest finishers in the competition.
Nice gift from Luke Ball as well. Smart goal.
Understanding where you're at, isn't it? And what you're capable of.
Luke Ball had an interesting role today, trying to play a defensive or an accountable forward line player, trying to keep Dempsey accountable, or any Essendon half back line player who's going to run off down the ground. Had the 8 possessions and contributed would be after a big last quarter.
St Kilda will be just saying to themselves, 1, maybe 2 more goals in this quarter at best would be a terrific result.
And Essendon look to be a little bit tired. They look like the first part of this quarter's taken a lot out of them.
Dempsey with a really good fist away.
They're playing Russian roulette now, the Saints. Delcano head-to-head on Watson.
Well, they have to, don't they?
Well, they've got to try and get back into the match.
Unless they can stop Watson getting the ball in those stoppages, that's where the tone gets set. They need to stop him getting the ball and get it out themselves.
King down to Hayes, couldn't quite get hold of it. Love it with a low ball. Davey trying to control it and break the tackle. Gee, it was a good stick tackle, wasn't it, from Blake? Really solid tackle. McVeigh. Somehow the ball came loose. And the quick little kick, not deliberate, but McVeigh marks. And the little things matter like that. All of a sudden, the Bombers have got a shot on goal. Let's have a look at the Davey tackle here. Tried to beat it. Blake got him, wrapped him up beautifully.
Good tackle.
Not over the contest there, say the Bombers. Quick kick out, and it was Quinn, the Irishman, to McPhee. The acting skipper today for his second goal. A good range for him. 45 metres out, offline, and a minor score for the Bombers. 15 goals, 9. So they've kicked 5 goals, 3 in this quarter, Essendon.
6 goals straight. The Saints are behind. So it's not an insurmountable lead, BT, but are you getting any suspicion now? You smelt something earlier, what about now?
Just another goal here for the Saints would be very timely, and I think that would be the best result from in this quarter. I think the Bombers in control at the moment, Gerard, but a 10-minute period of organised football from the Saints could see them back in it. High ball on the head of Kazitsky, offhands Graham around the corner. There goes Snyder. Slattery did well to block him off. Kazitsky kept it alive. Did well, Slattery, on 2 occasions, but they're still under the pump. Here's Del Santo on his favoured left side. Gives it off to Rewalt. Rewalt on the left. Hooked it too much.
And Smitty, Courtney Dempsey come off the ground. He looks injured, looked like in that marking contest he hurt himself.
Yeah, he did hurt him, and he went straight underneath the grandstand. They were just actually strapping up his leg. I'm not too sure what it is. I can't walk past. I'm just waiting for him to come out, and I'll give you an update then.
I saw him just flick his hamstring when he indicated to the physio, Smitty, so maybe he's just pulled a string.
Interesting in the context of this game, but also the season if the Bombers do have to make the finals.
Look at the Bombers spread.
That'll just put the blue lining through him, so I think he's missing for the match.
Look at the spread from the Bombers. Davey plays on here to Ryder. Got loose, right foot kick. Snap around the body, out of bounds on the full. Did you say they put the line through Dempsey, Gerard?
Yeah, well, the blue line is through him on our stat sheet, which indicates an injury, so he may be missing. Further reasons to think that St Kilda are a chance. Not sure about that handball to Ryder. If he has to come back onto his right foot, he's got no right to be calling for it on the left.
Let's see what Quinn can do here. Good kick. Doesn't try and kick it too hard and low. Just pops it out in front of McPhee. And the skipper says, we'll settle with just under 2 minutes remaining. And now Prisma will have a shot on goal.
Not sure what sort of kick Prisma is like from outside 50, Gerard, but will he have a shot?
Well, I think he should. I mean, you have to look at the Saints, the wide shot, if we can get it up. There is almost no chance of being able to squeeze a ball into this zone.
Have a look at this. The Essendon runner has immediately gone out here and now telling the kicker, you can see him just there, exactly what the time clock says. He tells Atkinson, goes around the back of the kicker, tells him as well.
I don't think St Kilda can win if he kicks it.
Prismal comes in. Good looking kick. It's there. Gerard and James. Prismal's got it. James Hurd thinks that may well be the end of the Saints. A 41-point lead.
41 points going to three-quarter time. It's a massive lead, and St Kilda would need their best football of the year to come out and win the game from there.
Look at this, the injury to Dempsey, who's currently off the ground. And we can just see...
Doesn't look like there'll be much in that.
Well, Hurdy's just come out from underneath the grandstand. He's actually just sitting down on the bench now. Looks like he's got that left hamstring strapped, so they've strapped it up, so hopefully he can come back on.
They've either strapped it or compression bandage to stop the bleeding, so...
It looks like he's got the skins on there, so it looks like they've worked on that, maybe the right hamstring.
So a 60-point turnaround in this game since the 14-minute mark of the first quarter. There's Rafael Clark. Hayes. City side wing at the Dome.
The numbers back for the Bombers. Got to push back. No point giving away a late one.
Rewalt did well to keep it alive. Good ball. Opportunity for the Saints to get an easy one here. And they do it very nicely indeed from Armitage.
I think you're right, Gerard. That's the coach would be too happy with that. That was a little bit too easy, that goal going through. But Rewalt coming back with a fly to the play. Hayes getting a touch. He's been a little bit quiet, Lenny Hayes. 16 possessions, not a bad game, but not up to his usual stand. You see Rewalt just coming through. It doesn't look like much that touch, but what it does, it forces the ball to ground, stops Essendon from punching it towards the boundary line, and a nice snap for goal there, but a lot of courage there. And then great finish from Armitage, who on his left put it through.
And Hurdy, Dempsey is just talking to the physio and the doctor as we speak. It's definitely his right hamstring. He's just stretching it out at the moment. He ran past me. He actually was running quite well. So hopefully, as I said, he can come back on.
Well, he's had a history of hamstrings.
Tell you what, change the context of the game. St Kilda can get another one.
Going to be a free kick to the Bombers, I think. No, it's going to go the Saints' way, and we've got 40 seconds left, and they understand the clock. Look at this.
Goddard's got the ball in his hands.
And he's got Del Sano running. He ignores that. Goes immediately to the lead of Rewalt. Not paid. Here comes Milne. Got it to one hand. The kick around the corner. Has it got the wheels? Milne's got it. The Saints, you sense, with 20 seconds on the clock in the third quarter, have got it back under 30 points. Back to 29 points.
Here's the free at the other end of the ground. It looked an interesting one at best.
How's that go to the Saints?
I'm not sure how it went to the Saints, but it certainly cost the Bombers. But it was their inexperience, Hurdy. They get the goal with a minute to go, and they relax, and it's cost them too. So in effect, that goal has hurt them.
Yeah, it has, and they look tired. They look a little bit flat. They'll be looking forward to three-quarter time and a rest and get the composure back. So we see Adam McPhee going back into the St Kilda forward line. Maybe that could have been done 2 or 3 minutes ago after that Prismal goal.
Back in the middle, just under the 20 seconds remaining, so...
Just got to kill it here now, the Bombers.
But what McPhee has done here, Jared, is he's run up to the contest. I'm not sure we can get a wide shot of that. Why you would go deep in and then run up to the contest. You want him back in the hole there in front of Rewalt to stop a shot at goal.
Now he's going back. The runner's gone out there and told him just that, James Hird. You are all over it. As Ryder, a high ball to centre half forward. 3 seconds left. Will Lovett get the boot on ball? No, he won't. Siren will sound. Saints have done the best they could possibly do, given the fact they were 41 down just 3 minutes ago, and they're now within 29 points. We have got a beauty for you. St Kilda 11-10-76, undefeated. Trail the Bombers 16-9, 105. Saints by 29 as we start the last quarter, and a free kick to the Bombers. Ryder plays on immediately from the middle of the ground with a high ball forward. Here they come, the pack flies. Dawson jumped into the pack. Fisher, just the one glove to pull the ball out of midair. Goddard under real pressure here, the Saints. Boundary line would be a good result for them.
There's just an amazing motivational difference here as well.
There is, yeah.
The Bombers are playing for their future. They're playing for their finals, whereas the Saints are playing for this, I guess, record run, if it means anything to a club that hasn't won a premiership since 1966.
It's the first time in 5 years for the Bombers, too, in the finals. This is a massive game for the Essendon Football Club, and getting themselves back into those finals, first time since 2004.
Well, the thing they're playing for, the equal third best streak in history of football.
Who cares, BT?
Exactly.
Who cares?
Exactly.
It's the
Perhaps
biggest non-event of all.
If it was the best streak in football, perhaps, but that's really what's on the end of it. And perhaps their ability to just work under some pressure coming into the finals and see how they handle that is more important. Ryder and Gardner done really well today. Paddy Ryder.
Oh, well played, Wolf.
Nice hands, Watson. Out wide. There's Lovett. From near the boundary line, hit the post.
That was your man, Jared. He almost responded, must have heard those stinging words. And stiff, and look, Essendon are up and about, but we know they're going to tire. Here's the reaction. He thinks it's through and hits the post, but Essendon will tire. They haven't got the men on the boundary line to rotate, so they're going to need to get a few goals. This is the worst thing that could possibly happen to Essendon.
This is possibly a knee injury, right knee to Paddy Ryder, so we're going to keep a really close eye on that on the far side of the ground. Lovett Murray's got hold of the ball. Paddy Ryder still hasn't moved. Dr. Bruce Reid running out there as we speak. Montagna around the corner. This would be tragedy for the Bombers.
Ryder's man here getting the ball.
Gardner is that man.
Stretcher out on the ground to stop play.
Look at the run of Goddard. couple of bounces. He can go all the way. It's opened up for him. Keep running. Unselfishly gives off to Snyder. Ryder's back on his feet and hobbling. And Snyder will line up for a goal. Let's have a look at what happened to Paddy Ryder. Couldn't quite see it from that view, maybe from here.
It's more if it's a knee, it's more a posterior cruciate than anterior.
Snyder comes in and kicks the goal in the meantime. All that is happening. All of a sudden, just a 24-point lead now for the Bombers.
Well, that's almost irrelevant to what we hope is relatively good news, as you said, Hurdy. When you see that the bottom part of the knee slam into the turf, generally that means it's a bit of a stretch of the posterior cruciate. Not the Big Mac that we're all hopeful will never beset this young bloke. You see there the leg just slammed into the turf, and that would have jolted the posterior cruciate. But in the meantime, the Saints have snuck forward and kicked a goal.
And Paddy Ryder for this game, 19 hit-outs for the game. The closest to him is Bell Chambers, who's had 10. It's had a significant impact in the centre of the ground, Paddy, and one of the reasons that Essendon were able to get back into the game and go so far forward. But the game is back on. 24 points, and St Kilda have a chance.
I'm sensing something, James. They've kicked the last three here, the Saints. Hurley coughs it up. Rewalt to an open goal. Make that the last 4 goals, and back to a 3-goal margin.
And all credit to St Kilda. They've hung around, they haven't played well, but they're within 3 goals. Essendon had the chance early in this quarter to kick 2 goals, but St Kilda are the ones with those goals on the board. 18 points at the 4-minute mark of the game. It's a very winnable game now for St Kilda.
No doubt about that. They need Bell Chambers to have a lift, as per Paddy Ryder, who benefited from David Hill's injury. Maybe Bell Chambers grasps his chance now, Ernie. And they're going to need somebody because the Saints are clearly coming. They're going to need that.
Lonigan, there's a free man down the field in Monfries. If he gathers cleanly, he can have a free shot at goal. Trouble is it's from the boundary. Out of bounds, no score.
He didn't think his way through that one that well. He had a man coming in the middle of the ground. He wasn't sure whether to pass or kick for goal, and really did nothing. But it's a throw-in.
Watson off the ground, McVeigh on, much better move. I think Watson's a bit of a liability just at this stage. They need to change this around and just lock down on Del Santo until they get back control of this match.
The Saints on a 4-goal charge. Kick out of the pack. Monfries knocked through behind.
In fact, they're going to have to probably rest a Watson up in the forward line, given their rotations. They'll almost have to rest their midfielders as deep as possible in the forward half.
Well, they're keeping Stanton on the ground, but St Kilda are the ones who are making all the play. Graham, these guys getting the ball.
Is that in the full? I think it's an Essendon free kick.
Great shepherd from Dempster off the ball.
Atkinson doesn't realise yet that it's his free kick.
Feeling the ribs there. Now let's have a listen. So they've worked it out now, the umpires, and Atkinson's got it on half-back, as James and Gerard suggested he would have. So it's a 19-point margin now.
Hurley at the back.
And
it's going to right around.
It's going to go that way. No, Stanton will with the kick, just lobbing it back to Hurley in the defensive goal square. Try and find the loose man on the outer. There's Lovett. He waits to run with the ball. Little stabbing kick. Dropped in the end by McPhee, and he gives the free away. So St Kilda here, an opportunity to hurt the Bombers.
I reckon they're going to get Stan at the other end of the ground. He's just going to be a liability in defence if he's chasing.
Hayes.
Loose man up forward, not loose man in defence. They'll expose him big time.
Here comes Rewalt. Too far out to score. 55 on the boundary. Here comes the lead from Dempster. It goes over the head. Here comes Kaczynski. Del Santo almost gloved it. Off hands. Lovett Murray puts his head over the ball. Dempster applies the tackle. That's a good result for the Saints.
14 minutes to go in this game, and the Essendon Football Club playing for their season. St Kilda playing for one of the longest winning streaks in the history of the game. Couldn't be set up any better, could it?
It's great theatre. You got the big injury problem for the Bombers.
Now Dyson. 11 minutes remain. 19-point Bomber lead. They were down 42 points at one stage. Might have even been 43. As Pears has got it in the middle.
Don't have to hurry now, Essendon.
No.
They just look like they're on this adrenaline rush.
They haven't thought their way through their last four forward entries, have they, Jared?
No, they've given it away a couple of times. Inexperienced players. But they are just throwing everything at it, as they should be. I mean, their finals is on the line.
They need to draw St Kilda out here. Just kick the ball around, draw St Kilda out and find a way in that is a little less risky than what they've been doing.
There's Watson, just back on the ground and fresh, and you'll think that he'll run this last 10 minutes out. Hurley rolls the dice and goes long to McPhee. McPhee looking for the short one. A low ball to Big Bell Chambers, who was never going to get down and pick that one up. And now an opportunity for a neutral ball.
Adam McPhee just didn't think his way through there. He had Nathan Murray off to the side in the pocket, should have just kicked it to him and kept possession of the ball. Essendon don't need to hurry themselves into kick and goal. St Kilda are the ones that need to get advantage and get the ball back and play with the sort of kamikaze style football that Essendon are at the moment.
Kicked the last 4 goals of the game, St Kilda. But the charge has been halted momentarily by a resilient Bomber outfit. McPhee and Rewalt.
Still think they've got to kick one, the Bombers.
Yep, definitely.
They've had a couple of opportunities. You reckon they'd need to kick one, possibly 2, to put this away.
So the last 10-minute dash we're in for now. Interception here, Lovett Murray. Davey and McVeigh. Brilliant smother by Luke Ball.
Desperate footy, both sides really want to win this game, and you can see by the commitment they've got, and the great St Kilda side are really looking to rebound against this young Bomber side.
Gardner and Bell Chambers got some numbers out the back, the Saints. Dempster, look at the runner, Gilbert. Look at him wind up the Pistons.
This is where Lovett has to use his strength.
And Lovett did, he ran him down. Gave him a start and ran him down. The intercept. Ray Kazitsky's in front of his man. Big, strong, contested mark in a great time of need. Justin Kazitsky for goal.
And that's why you need tall forwards, Jared, because you can just put it up there and they have to win the ball.
You've upset Rocket. You will upset him, but this was just a magnificent match, and you can see this bloke just starting to get things together come the final month of the year.
For 5 straight St Kilda goals and a 13-point deficit for the Saints. Kazitsky comes in and drills the goal. St Kilda are coming and they are back in the hunt. 13 down.
Sam Lonergan coming off the ground, not looking too nimble, but here's the turnover. Great tackle by Lovett, great chase. But Angus Monfries probably need to think through his handball more. Farron Ray gets the ball, kicks it long. And if Rewalt doesn't get you, Kazitsky will. And great mark in front of 2 Essendon players. Probably had the sit, had the best position, but those hands, once the ball gets in there, the ball just does not come out and just kicks the ball through the goals as straight as anyone in the competition.
Clunk. Justin Kazitsky have kicked the last 5 here, the Saints. Essendon last goal, 28-minute mark of the 3rd quarter. Palm down was good by Gardner.
You'd think that every contest or every ball up throw in from now on in is so important. You've got some great clearances players in there, in Hayes and Watson. Those 2 guys so important for the next 15 minutes of this game.
Bombers have got a spare in defence, which I'm not sure that's the way to go, given that if they get it, they're going to go over the one man anyway.
Can the Bombers hang on? The Saints enter their forward line. Armitage, Snyder.
Dropped it. Good tackle.
Good tackle.
Well, this is where that spare has to work, Jared. That's the spare, Nathan Lovett Murray. He's the one that doesn't have a man. He needs to make himself an option once Essendon win the ball or cut the lead off for St Kilda. He's not running. He needs to be putting himself into space to get the ball to get Essendon a goal.
Prismal to Bell Chambers. Really, every possession here important, especially in not turning the ball over. Being pushed back here at the moment. There's the interception. Milne can go if he likes. Got the handball inside to Armitage. Directly in front, he's kicked a goal. Armitage has got them back within 7 points. 6 straight.
Well, that was the old slow play, the play that just fell into the hands of St Kilda. That's the reason why they're having this unbelievable undefeated run.
Well, they cost themselves last week, Essendon, by the lack of composure in the last few minutes out of the back line. And here we go, Atkinson again. Just a poor kick. Gave it too much air.
Poor choice, too.
Yeah, he probably could have gone over to Hurley, who was free, and a more lateral kick. Dangerous kick. But if you can see in the top of your left-hand screen there, as the ball goes through Hurley, you can't see it, but Hurley was free, and that was a better option.
Gee, love it, Murray ran past the contest as well. Perhaps should have pulled up and not thrown everything on the win there. Well, it's back to a 7-point margin here. They're inching their way back into the contest.
Smart play.
Are the raging premiership favourites. Watson got the ball forward and the mark is taken by Stanton.
Don't underestimate how hard that mark was. Stanton would have seen that, I reckon, a split second before it hit him in the head. The ball was doing. Warney would have been proud of the spin that ball had on it.
That should be on mark of the year take.
But Watson again out of the middle of the ground. Great clearance. Gee, this will test Stanton's kicking, boys.
To stop the run of 6 goals. Stanton in what could be a game saver for the Bombers. They won 8th position, it's offline.
Went very close to the man on the mark there.
Yes, he's I guess when you've got a bit of an injury at the top of that thigh there, it's always going to be difficult. The chase and the pressure skills are the ones that are going to really be under the microscope now for the Bombers. We know they're down on injuries. Fletcher's off, Dempsey's off, Ryder's off, all injured. They can sit there and think about injuries, or they can do something about it.
Goddard, Del Santo, hands on the ball, and then I think it's those guys with the hands on the ball, hard to stop. They're such good kicks of the ball, as we see. I think that Nathan Love-Murray going back as that single man has left Goddard free.
Rewalt pushes his man, pairs under the ball. Here's Hurley. The Bombers have a top 8 spot up for grabs. If they win, they're in. If they lose, they're not. It's that simple. Montagna, there's pressure from the Saints. Milne looking for someone to give it to. Had to take them on his own in the end. And he's running out of teammates. Here's Lovett. Kick into the middle, needs to be precise. Monfries will get it free.
Amazing speed by Andrew Lovett. He ran sideways. The guy was running straight at him and got past.
That's what God gave him, He's got to use it.
Yeah. But Essendon need more composure in these positions. This is where they're kicking the ball away. Slow it down and think their way through it.
6 minutes. 8-point margin. Nothing in the modern game.
He's got Hurley wide. He's got to look to the other side of the ground. Start it again.
The Bombers spread wide and far, and the Saints are covering them in a one-on-one. Kick into the middle. There's the turnover again. They do it so well, the Saints. Graham to Rewalt. Outdone by the younger Hurley.
That's a great mark, wasn't it? Hit the body, come back for the mark. It's a great lesson in protecting the space where the ball's going to fall.
Great composure for Hurley. Goal if he stuffed it up, and he didn't. Lovett went hard and was jammed into the ground with a bruising tackle.
Can Aaron Davey play up in the ball, because Joe Watson is absolutely spent. He's got nothing left in his legs.
That's a great mark. Hit the player, come back onto the ball. Well done.
Can Joe Watson play in the square, Jared?
I'd have him at the other end of the ground right now. Put a Lonigan up the ground. Get some more run.
And Goddard hurt his shoulder, I think.
Yep, right shoulder. Might be a bit of a stinger.
The umpire's trying to actually play a free kick here because we're out of bounds, out of the ruck, guys.
Snyder goes in there with a short ball. Missed the intended Dempster target.
Well, that's a big injury that Brendan Goddard won. If that shoulder's severe for the rest of the year, but you'd hope it's just a small knock or a
stinger,
as you call it, BT. What does it actually mean?
It means it'll come good. Over the back, King. Montagna, floating ball. All the big boys are there. Off hands and a minor score. We've got a 7-point ball game.
Next goal wins, Jared.
Yeah, I think it's a fair call, Hurdy. There's the injury to Goddard. It's a really interesting match, though, just the way it's unfolding.
Now, here go the Saints again. They apply the screws. There's the turnover. They are so damn good at this. Watson saved the day. Did well winning the ball. And a free kick will go to the Bombers, and the advantage is paid here, but they didn't want it, the Bombers, and the umpire sensed that, and he made the right call there.
Not sure it's been all about the Saints' pressure in the last 5 minutes, though, BT, the way that Essendon have turned the ball over their back line. Just some poor choices and poor disposal coming out of the back part of the ground.
A little bit of panic just dropped into the Bombers' makeup.
Well, that's what pressure does to you. Slattery at half-back. Bell Chambers, probably not the ideal target at this stage. Dyson just got it away in the nick of time. Ferocious handball out the back door. Good, don't argue from Bell Chambers, that's better. Use your strength. Good smother by Snyder it might have been. Stanton under all sorts of pressure. Slattery's got to make a kick that works, dropping the ball. Saints are going to run to the open goal. Snyder's got it. You would not believe it. This game is back to a 1-point Bomber lead. What a remarkable game.
Hurdy, the Bombers need to get the down the ground vision and just look at who didn't push down to help out those guys. They were getting smothered, they were getting choked, they were getting suffocated. Stanton was on his own, he was looking for someone to help, as was Slattery, and yet there was 4 midfielders sitting on the 50 waiting for someone to kick it to them, rather than pushing down and helping out. A goal just given away by the Bombers. They threw away 2 points last week. They don't look as if they've learned.
7th straight goal. Ross Lyon in the phone says, Goddard, get back out there. He does that. And Goddard back on the ground after that shoulder stinger. The Saints are within 1 point after trailing by 43. Here's Lovett. Can he go all the way? He lines them up. Didn't get it to spin well. 2-point lead, Essendon.
It's been that sort of day for Andy Lovett. Not a lot has gone right, but he's still got 4 minutes. And he can have a major impact on their season.
Yeah. Big 4 minutes from Andrew Lovett. The guys that haven't run that well, you're right about Alwyn Davey. Hasn't played a lot in the midfield, Jared, but I think he's going to have to cover for some of his teammates who are absolutely exhausted.
Pressure footy. A mistake either way could cost your team here now. The punch back into the Welsh path, gave it to Watson, handball a little behind. He did well to control the ball. The Bombers reload. Here's McPhee. He's got Lonigan on short, he ignored it.
Dumb kick.
And he went long to Gilbert, he had Lonigan on the lead and should have gone there. And you're right, Jared, the decisions they're making are not smart ones and the correct ones right at the moment in the heat of the game.
I'm not sure who Adam McPhee was kicking that to. It was just a long Hail Mary when he had forwards charging up on the burst.
And the opposite can be said of the Saints as they just casually pick the targets off here with great composure. Been a great contest and the Bombers have done really well. Are they going to let it slip? Hudson got a bit of a clip around the ear. I thought he should have got a free kick for that. Advantage paid, so the Bombers will keep going. Nagel's got the ball. Sees Monfries out wide. Dawson sags off him and lets him mark. Hudson's going to come off the ground. We've got 2:43 remaining. The Bombers by 2. Can they soak it up from here, James Hurd?
You wouldn't think so. You'd think you've got to go forward. 2:33 is a long time to kick it, but you never know.
Here, playing into the Saints' hands.
Yeah, well, they're trying to soak it up. Can they absorb the incredible St Kilda pressure?
And this hasn't been Essendon's strength for the last 2 or 3 weeks. We said cost themselves a game last week.
Now they're all manned up. They're all manned up now. Blake had to sag off Hurley. They're getting pushed back, Jared. Risky kick. Watson couldn't mark it. Tidies it up. McPhee running the wrong way. They've been pushed from centre half forward back to the back pocket.
They've got nothing to kick to out this side. That's the problem. They're going to be forced to come across goal again because Bell Chambers has got to push across. He's not pushing across hard enough to provide an option.
But this is the Saints' trademark.
Now look at the Saints man up. They forced the kick to the contest. Up they fly, the mark's taken. Cozzy wants to play on. It was probably unnecessary at that stage. Lonigan with the handball. A heap of Bomber players in the middle of the ground. Here they go. McVeigh's got an overlap player. The left footer and Dyson. He can wind up and go all the way. Unselfish, beautiful centering kick. Monfries has marked. Monfries has mark and kick backwards to lessen the angle to Prismal.
That was one of the great kicks of the year from Dyson.
Wasn't he? Saw Monfries coming, but tell you what, I don't reckon I'd give that up if I was Monfries. 20 metres out, 15 metres out, pretty much in front. Time will tell.
I think it's a smart decision. It was a brilliant kick from Monaghan too. That's what thinking under pressure is all about. He could have placed away that goal as well, but he didn't. He hit him on the chest.
Prismal starts his approach. This to win the game for the Bombers. 30 metres out, slight angle. There's a great look at it. Comes in casually, and he's missed. So one last chance for the Saints. 30 seconds on the clock, 3 points down.
He's going to go straight down the middle, isn't he?
He's too close to the square. He plays on, gets some ground, draws the handball, goes the kick. It's pretty ordinary. They need some luck here, the Saints. Montagna puts it in the path of Ray. He's got an inside runner in ball if he wants him. Comes back. 17 seconds. Time ticking. Montagna goes the high ball. It's down to Rewald. Rewald has taken the mark and will have a kick after the siren to win the game. Can you believe it? Siren sounds. Rewald, did you see him then? He went, oh no, I've got to kick the goal to win. He cannot play on. Rewalt, 35 metres out to keep the Bombers out of the 8 and to win the game for the Saints. He's missed. Rewalt has missed. Look at the Bomber fans. Look at the players. The place has gone bananas here at the Dome. The fans can't believe it. And the Bombers have halted the run of the Saints.